Looking at the market for the crypto market for the 25th of May, seeing how it's all going and my thoughts and expectations going forward just now. So what we're looking at is Coinbase Pro Coinbase, where you've got all these different pairs with either Euro, the pound, the USDc, USDT, or Bitcoin against that. And over the last couple of days, we've had a bit of it's crazy time. Certainly for in pounds, the Bitcoin went from over £46,000 per coin to just touching 20,000. So losing over 20,000, so more than 50% in the space of, if this is days, in the space of a month. But the biggest drop was really in the space of one day, going from 30,000 down to 20,000. So losing 30% or 33% in the space of one day, which was horrific. I would say is probably the most best way to describe it. So this area here, this one candle, in fact, it peaked out at 31. What does it say here? High was 31. Low was 20,000. So £11,250 lost in one day. If we see what that was in US dollars, or we can see USDc, which is the same. What was that showing there? It went from a high of 43,627 down to 29,600. So what you see is up here is where it says the high and the low of that. So 43, and then it disappears. So yeah, that was a horrific day, and it's been bouncing around since that. So people are looking left, right, centre for patterns, for ideas of the trajectory of the currencies. Is it going to be what's known as a V-shape bounce, or is it going to be a dead cat bounce? It's going to be a head and shoulders. There's all these different things that they're talking about, and the main idea was the idea that if I've put some overlays here, we've gone massively underneath most of the moving averages, and that's like, oh, is it going to bounce down and then ping back up in a V shape, or will it be a U shape? Will it be some consolidation? A lot of people are saying it's potentially not a bad thing that it's come down that far, because it's meant it's shaking out the weak hands, the paper hands, the people that are scared have only got into the market soon, and it's kept all the strong hands, the diamond hands, the people that don't sell, the hodlers, and it's going to bring in more of the institutional investors to buy in at this time. But no, it hasn't really shown too much. They haven't rushed in. The massive institutional investors that everyone's talking about didn't exactly throw billions at it straight away. It's not showing it that much, but we should be talking about in terms of weeks or even months in this sort of case. So if we zoom out just now, so there was the big day, pinging down, bouncing back up. So huge amount of volatility there. 40,000 down to 29,000, then up to 43,000. Absolute yo-yoing on that. So that was pretty nuts. And since then, it's the other phrase that people say is you shouldn't start building a house the day after an earthquake, because there's still going to be lots of tremors and your house can fall down. So even then, people are just saying, don't buy in until we know what is going on, because it's just all going a bit crazy. Then the next thing people are talking about is a head and shoulders. So they're saying, or an inverse head and shoulders. So I think this area here is a head down at the bottom. This is a shoulder over here. This is a shoulder over here. And from a inverse head and shoulders, the price should, they expect, to go up the way from there. So that's generally what people are saying on the market. All the videos I don't even bother watching anymore, because everyone says, oh my god, Bitcoin's going to do this tomorrow, and then they say it could go up, it could go down, it could consolidate. You're like, okay. But in general, the long-term sentiment is this was a dip, this was a drop, this is a time for people to buy, and it is highly expected to head back up. Very little sentiment of this being the idea of that's it down, it's just got to keep on piling down. It was more the idea of this was clearly artificial FUD created. So FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, created by the media to reduce the price, to get people to sell, to get the fear, to drop the price as much as possible, so institutions could buy and then get it at a cheaper price, and then it could go back up afterwards. So yeah, I think this is something which we will see again and again in the future. We have certainly seen it in the past, and it has usually rallied up after that. But certainly when we're down at $30,000, so just the thought of being able to get back up to $60,000 just seems 100 miles away, but it is effectively just about a week away or a month away. It's not that big a timescale in the world of crypto, and it just kind of shows that the crypto world is a fast-paced, juvenile environment in terms of it being such a young environment, and things are very they fluctuate on the basis of a couple of people's tweets rather than changes in any fundamentals. So it's no big news going on here, but yeah, it seems to be bouncing around up to about 40 just now, and generally possibly in a week it'll be coming back up. Maybe a week and a half, see where it goes there. The other thing to bear in mind is pretty much everything follows the same pattern. If you look at the graphs here, they all are roughly, some are red, some are green, but if you look at their actual shape, they're all roughly the same. There seems to be everything is pegged, everything in the cryptoverse is pegged to the Bitcoin. And that's fine if you just want to invest in Bitcoin. However, a general advice that some people say is diversify, because there's other ones that can be going up. So Ethereum has recently gone up and become stronger and stronger against Bitcoin. You can see that in this chart here, Bitcoin, Ethereum. If we look at this one, so a couple of months back, one Ethereum only got you 0.03 of a Bitcoin, and then it went all the way up to 0.08 of a Bitcoin. So you more than doubled the amount of Bitcoin you can get for the same amount of Ethereum. So if you had one Ethereum, it only got you a smaller bit, and if you sold the Ethereum a month later, you got more Bitcoin going on there. So that was, sometimes that happens, but there's not a lot of it happens all over the place. Again, with Litecoin, that everything had a little bit of a pump over the last week, but it's all come back down to roughly this same area, maybe this block here going on. So it was a fun like maybe 2 weeks of mental price jumps here. Look at how long Ethereum Classic has literally done nothing, and then this was still nothing, but then it just went whoopah in a day. So the whole point of buying alternative currencies, putting money into any of these, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic, Chainlink, Algorand, all these kind of things, New Cipher, Filecoin, Aave Protocol, the Graph. The whole point of putting stuff in these are the gambles, in hoping that one of them maybe has some major anti-FUD, some major news, and it just goes mental over a couple of days. Then you can cash out and do well, but cash out it back into Bitcoin. That's kind of the main point, or cash out into Ethereum. That might be something that people want to do as well. Ethereum also had the exact same crash, although a completely different currency, a completely different ecosystem from Bitcoin. It did exactly the same as Bitcoin. Absolutely pile drived in the ground. There it went from over £3,000 to under £1,230. Wow. So again, over 50%, maybe 55%, maybe 60% drop in price over the space of a couple of days there. So yeah, in general, Bitcoin, Ethereum, money going there is almost the same as putting in any other currency. Any other currency, put 5% of your value into any particular one. As in, like, spread your 5% value over the rest of these, just in case one of them goes mental, goes up by 10x and does that better while Bitcoin is just flapping around doing nothing, then yeah, cool. You might make a little bit of a gain there. But generally, certainly after this traumatic a drop, most people will be taking their money out of the altcoins, so that even includes Ethereum, and we'll be putting the money into Bitcoin as an idea of it being a safer, less volatile. However, it was incredibly volatile. Trying to see cryptocurrency, or even the biggest cryptocurrency of Bitcoin, being less volatile than the rest just doesn't happen. And what we can say is that the altcoins, being even smaller caps, market capitalized, the total market cap of some of these smaller coins, they bounce even more. So sometimes when there's been a massive drop in some of these, there'll be an even greater bounce back. So for example, Matic had a fantastic day the other day. If we like Matic, nothing, went mental, threw it to the moon up to £2, and then the next day, whoopah! I absolutely crashed it down to 70p, and then a couple of days ago down to 50p. But from 50p, whoopah, up to £1.30. So what's that, like almost a lot. So yeah, the smaller caps bounce back more, and just you're effectively gambling with them. But yeah, that's my advice, and that's how it's looking just now. And hopefully it'll be back up around, instead of 26,000, we're looking for 40,000 soon. Cheers, bye bye.